everybody, welcome back once again to JJ's PC Builds. We're going to take a gander at user benchmark so that way you guys can get an idea of what's going on there. But before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Would be appreciated, would help us get to our goals. And if you want to help us reach our goals, then please subscribe. And also, too, don't forget to put positive likes out there on my videos so that way YouTube will take and show it to more people so we can get more subscribers. And also, too, turn your notifications on so you know when I post the next video. Right here, this will give you an idea of what you can do and you can't do. Okay, so let's say... Let's get to the facts of this and the reason why we're here. Okay, the reason why we're here is that I want to show you, if you have a pre-existing, your pre-existing PC and you're not sure what it's doing, you can always download the program that they have with this to test your PC. Now, coming to this site, they should have a download thing. You can do it that way. Or if you don't want to download nothing to your computer, this is why we're going this way first. So we're going to show you this way, and then we'll show you what happens on the download way, and you can see yourself. See where it says free download? Oh, you can't see it because I got my big head in the way. Alrighty. Now, right here where it says free download, you can download it right here for free and set it up on your PC like you would do any other program. And then after that, we'll go from there. But now, this right here, this will give you an idea how you want to go about things. And when I'm saying about going about things, you can see what you want to do. Let's say if you want to get a CPU, correct? Now, they will give you best to the worst on CPUs. And usually they're going to tell you that the 14900K is going to be the best. Okay, so that's if you're looking for that kind of CPU. Let's say you want to search for it and you want to do the 14900. Okay. Now, seeing the 14900K, you got the KF and you got the KS. So now this gives you a price variance of $500, and for $5 more. And this doesn't make sense to me, and I'm going to tell you why it doesn't make sense. Okay, the K version gives you the integrated graphics. The KF version takes away the integrated graphics, but they make you pay $5 more. You can see it right here, the price difference. And if you want the KS version, you're going to pay a lot more. So what's going to be better, the K, the KF, or the KS? Well, they say the KS has got a little bit more performance than the K or the KF. But if you got a discrete graphics card and you're not using integrated graphics, then you can go this way for $5 more. Or you could just get the K version and have the integrated graphics as a backup in case your discrete graphics card goes out. So at least now you have a processor with integrated graphics, so you're not stuck off the internet just because you got the KF version. No, you went and got the K version and did the smart version way. Okay, that's the smart way, is to have the integrated graphics as a backup. Now, I understand I got the 5700X, but, it depends on what you want to do. Okay, let's say if I'm going to build my PC, and right now I want to see what my PC is doing, so we go the 5700X. And as you can see, the 5700X, they're putting it out there for less than 150 bucks. So let's say we do this. All right. And these are the alternatives to the 5700X. So, but it doesn't look like these. The 13900K is a more expensive way. You know, if you want to do the 13900K or the KF, which that would probably be better because you're not doing integrated graphics. Okay, so looking at that, they're saying that, you know, this right here gives you an idea. So the best is 134% at 5.6 gigahertz for the for the 13900 KF. Okay, now the 5700X is meeting equal. So you got something that is over here that's running faster at 34%, well, let's say 26% faster than what I got right now. Okay, so you say, okay, well, that's fine. Then we'll just click add to PC build. So now we're doing a PC comparison. So let's say I decided to do the utmost and I'm building my PC. So now I got the CPU and I can click on GPU. Let's say I want the baseline GPU to be a 4070 Super. Let's say 4070 Super. Okay, so we add that to the baseline of the i9 13900 KF, and we added the 4070 Super. Okay, now let's say I go over here to this GPU and I say I want the 4070, which I have. If I can type RTX 4070. Okay, so now we're looking to build the rest of it. SSD. Add to the baseline, we add the Corsair. Oh, that's SSD. Let's do Samsung. I always like Samsung for the drives, or Crucial. Let's see, we do the 980 Pro. Okay, add the alternative. Same drive. $980. Right here. Same drive. So now we added the same drive to both things. We're not adding a hard drive. Let's go to the RAM. Okay. Now the baseline for this RAM is not going to be DDR4. It's going to be DDR5. So we want DDR5. Oh, let's take that out of there. Huh. Interesting. DDR4. Let's type in the Corsair. Just for a baseline for now until one day they just, fix that up and get that all fixed. Okay, so we want the Corsair 4x16. SAIR LPX 3200 C16. Let's see, what do? They give you 2x16. Well, I guess that's only alternatives they give you. So far, so good. Even though that, my RAM's going to be at least 120, 130 bucks for 4 sticks at 64 gigs. And this is at 32 gigs. This is just giving you a comparison idea, of what you can do and not do. So now we go to the motherboard. Let's say Asus on my motherboard. Strix B550. What's close to that? B550F. That'll be close enough to that. Even though mine's a B550A, the F will still be close enough to that. Now we got to do an Asus motherboard on this side. It's not going to, you're not going to run it on a B450, B550 motherboard. Probably want to do a 790p with Wi-Fi. Oh, that's a beta version. Oh, we'll have to look that up and total that up. I would say that's about $1,400 for that. And over on my other side, with the prices, would be about $1,000. Okay. Now, looking at all of it, the gaming, it's going to be at 268%. On the other side, having the alternative, which is my PC, would be 179. The desktop would be 125%. The desktop over on my PC would be 101%. The workstation, which people really don't worry about, would be 351%. And the workstation on my PC would be at 176%. So, just keep this in mind right here. Make sure you take a screenshot of it so you know what the difference between getting an Intel 13900KF compared to the Ryzen 7 5700X. the difference between the two, there's not much. And I'm going to say there's not much variance between the two. Yes, the 13900KF is going to be faster than the one I got now. Yes. But for the price point, you know, that's not got the motherboard added. I would say about $1,400 for the 13900KF compared to me getting mine, which would have been what I paid was $1,284. So there's only like 100 or two difference between the two. If you want more speed, yeah. If you want, you know, more dependability, depends on what you want to do. So that's just to give you an idea. That's just to give you an idea of what's going on. Just to give you an idea. Okay. Now, if I go to use, let's say, user benchmark to benchmark my PC, then, you know, you can do that too. You can download it. And then once you download it, let's go to the action screen. And we'll go to the benchmarking tools and we'll pull it up. Now you just sit there and wait. You don't touch anything. You just let it do its thing. And all I sit here and as I watch as it's doing its thing, I'm watching to see what the there. So that way we can see it a little bit better. It shows me what it's pushing and not pushing and so on. So far I see it pushing the CPU to the max, but it's only at 12%, but it's at 50C. That's not too bad. I mean, 50 degrees Celsius, that's not too bad at all. I mean, all you do is you just watch and see what it's pushing. This is what I mean. Do not touch anything. Just let it do its thing. You want an accurate score? Let it do its thing. Oh, wow. Says I'm missing my GPU. Wow. Hold on a moment. Let me turn that off. That was like really annoying. If I'm reading that right, it says I was missing my GPU. Something ain't right there. Here, let me move that back up there. So it's seen my processor, it's seen my C drive, it's seen my D drive, and it's seen my E drive. So we'll change some things. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put a GPU in there. Since it says I don't have a GPU, we'll add that on to there. What else can I do to fix this? Oh, the motherboard. Let's see, B550-A. Yeah, it does have it. Okay, so now we'll add that in there. So the deal is this. It gave me 1 point for the gaming more, but everything else is pretty much the same. Okay, so the comparison between the online and doing it from the PC is basically coming out to be the same thing. I can always change the processor. I know this might look confusing to you. So what you're doing is you're going back and forth until you find what's going to be good enough for you. Okay, let's say I want to do a 5800 X3D. Compared to the 5800X or 5700X, this pushed it way higher. So look at that. I mean, that pushed it way higher. Compared to if I had the 5700X, let's see, it's a 4070. We'll do the alternative and you can see the difference. Just stay with me on this. You'll see what's going to be happening. So just stick with me and we'll get through this. I'm making a little bit of mistakes, so that's why I said bear with me. Okay. We're going to tie in the same 4070. Okay. Now you can see the difference in gaming. Going from the 5800 X3D, the same system, same amount of RAM and everything else, coming from the 5700X. So they give you an alternative. So your workstation came up, your desktop came up, and your gaming came up. That's not too bad. So let's say you don't want the 5800 X3D, that you want to do the, let's say you want to do the 5900. We go 5900. So we'll look for the 5900X. Okay, 5900X. Okay, so that's only the 5900X is only 5%, and gaming is only 5% faster than the 5700X, but with less of a price. See, that's the thing. you're going for less than 150 bucks to 245. So, this is what I want you to think about. I mean, what's different between the two? The workstation. That's pretty much it. The workstation. That's the difference between the 5700 and the 5900 is gaming's only 5% faster than the 5700. But you're gonna pay that price? You're gonna pay that extra $100 just for 5% more on gaming? No, you're not gonna pay that. Believe it or not, you're not gonna pay that kind of price. So, okay, just want to make a little point clear to you. Difference between the 5700X and the 5900X is the 5700X has an 8-core 16-thread processor, when the 5900X has got a 12-core 24-thread processor. So there is kind of a difference between the two, but with the small amount of percentage between the gaming, 5%, that's 5%, but for $100 more, I just can't see the price. Okay, now this is the end. This right here is going to be my conclusion to you. The reason why I showed the AM4 series is because there's more alternatives on the AM4 series than with your AM5 series. Now, AM5, if you want to go balls to the wall, then, you can go balls to the wall. But I would suggest to you not to buy anything for the AM5 series just yet until the 9000 series processors come out for AMD. You want to wait that one out. But if you want something that's right now that, that's going to be like a secondary system to you, just something for gaming right now, yeah, you can pick AM4. Anything on AM4. I mean, for the price I paid for the motherboard, the processor, and the RAM, and the hard drive space, it wasn't a bad deal for me. Now I'm just waiting on the AM5, and I'm waiting on the 9000 series. AM5's out, yes, but 9000 series processor, that's what I'm waiting on. Because if it's going to be as good as they say it is, then that's going to be my next jump from this generation to the next generation. That's going to be my next jump. If it's as good as they say it is. And if it is, then I'm going to buy a decent motherboard. I'm going to buy 64 gigs of RAM, like I always do, like I'm running now. Watch the speeds. Make sure I get at least 6,000 megahertz for the speed, and get the clocks as low as I can, the CL whatever it is now, but to get it as low as I can, I'm going to look into that and make sure that it's a decent brand name RAM, and that's going to be all set, because I really don't need a drive for it. Well, actually I do, if I think about it. So that will be something I have to look into. But as far as building your PC, I'm just showing you how I was jumping around, but I'm showing you how you can take your current PC and see what you can do to modify it, what you can do on User Benchmark. You can make your own PC the way you want, just by changing the parts. You put in your baseline of what you have in your PC now, and then you go in, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know why it did not detect my GPU. I cannot tell you for the world why that happened. Because I noticed that sometimes when I go to benchmark with user benchmark, sometimes it won't show my RAM, or sometimes it won't show my solid state drives. I don't know if it's with their program or something that's going on. But you're best off if you do test your PC and you see something not show up, then add the pieces in that's not showing up. So at least you get some kind of decent score. I'm not looking to have the best score in the world. I'm looking to have the best performance I can get out of my PC for when I play games. I'm not into the competition thing to where I'm competing with somebody when it comes to, playing a game. I'm not competing with nobody. I compete with myself. Either that or I compete with the computer that plays against you. But I'm not competing with other people. Even though if I play in a multiplayer game, that it's not competition. They're playing their own game the way they want to, and I'm playing my game the way I want to. And they're not interfering with what I'm doing unless they're combined to my adventure, which they're not. So that's how you got to look at it. If they're not part of your adventure, then it really doesn't matter what they do. They go play their own game. Don't forget your drink and snacks, by the way. So that's how you got to look at it. It's your gameplay you need to focus on. But as far as your PC, you need to focus on that too. If you think running a GTX graphics card from now until the end of time is going to keep working, it's not. Now is the time that you want to take and clear your mind and think about your next investment. If going up to the next generation graphics cards of AMD or NVIDIA is going to be the best for you. You could say, well, I've saved my money and stuff, and guess what? I'm going to get me a graphics card. Okay. And then you say to yourself, what graphics card am I going to get? Well, I always said like this. If it's just for gaming, and you're not going to use it for anything else, save yourself the expense and go AMD. Simple. But if you want more of ray tracing and multi-experience, like in creator work and stuff like that, not saying you can't do creator work on AMD, you can, just as well as NVIDIA. You can do it on either or, depending on how you set up your system. But let's say you wanted heavy ray tracing and stuff like that, then NVIDIA would be the way to go. So you can stick with AMD and do more rasterization, and they do have ray tracing on AMD, but not as strong as it is on NVIDIA. So when it comes to ray tracing, one from AMD and one from NVIDIA is going to come out ahead when it comes to ray tracing. But let's say you don't care about ray tracing, you just want rasterization and everything else. Well then, if you got $500 to spend, then go get yourself a 7800 XT for $500. I think they're $479 now. It's pretty cheap. But it still keeps up with the RTX 4070 in rasterization. But in ray tracing, forget it. 4070 is going to take the lead. Just to let you know that. So this way, this gives you an idea. The reason why I always bring up those two cards is because that is the beginning of your middle section. You got your lower section, you got your middle section, and you got your high section. Okay, so if you want to run a low budget card that's like $300 or less, then you want to go and start at the bottom of the barrel. what's going to give you that $300. If you're gonna base your performance on your budget, then you're going to be stuck at a budget of $300 for your GPU. Then you're going to be stuck on a budget for a motherboard that's less than $100. That's $400 right there. Then you're going to be budgeted on your CPU. That's another $100 right there. Let's say $150. So you go $300, $400, $550 right now. And with the amount of solid state you're going to need, everybody's moving up from 1 terabyte to 2 terabytes to 4 terabytes because of the size of the games on Steam. Some people are going to 4 terabytes, and then you're looking at about close to $300 for that. But if you're looking for like a 2 terabyte, then you're looking at about $150, $170 for that. Or if you're looking for a 1 terabyte, then, it would make, you can get 1 terabyte just for your operating system and a little bit of games. Then, you're looking at, $70, $80, depending on the brand you buy. So you have to keep all that in consideration. And your RAM, you have to take that in consideration too. Now, the amount of RAM I got is going to cost you about $120 for 64 gigs. But when you go, that's on AM4. When you go to AM5, you're only going to get, for the same amount of price, 32 gigs of RAM. But that's going to be probably 5,200 megahertz. Could be a little bit more for $120. But you're only going to get 32 gigs. 64 gigs, you're going to pay double. So that's the reason why I stayed with AM4 for a while, so that way the prices drop down more on the AM5 series. And as soon as 9000 comes out, 9000 series processors for AMD, prices might go down just a little bit more even yet. They might even come out with that new 800 series motherboards. I'm waiting to see if they're going to come out with the 800 series motherboards. They're still stuck on the 700 series. So I'm waiting for the new AI 800 series motherboards that I'm hearing about. Yeah, they're building AI technology onto the 800 series. Even better from what I'm hearing. But anyway, if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. And if you like the video, put a like on it. So that way YouTube can put us out there and, we can get more subscribers. And also, too, make sure your notifications on. So that way you'll know when I post the next video. But until then, next time and the next video, you know what it is. And we'll see you on the next one.